Hello there. My name is Sebastian Marshall. I'm the CEO of Ultra Working, and I wanted to shoot a video to talk one-on-one to you about Clockwork Nutrition. I'll walk you through the basics and I'll show you some of how our software works, but more importantly, I want to talk about who this is going to work really, really well for and who it might not be a fit for. And I'm going to be like max honest. We're like very honest people over here. There's some people that are the customers that we can help a lot, and if that's you, we can make a huge difference in your life potentially. If that's not you, then we want you to know that and be like, all right, cool. Like maybe it's not a fit right now, not a fit for me. So I'm gonna be really straight up with you. All right. So basic idea behind Clockwork is quite simple, but we think it's really powerful, right? So I've been at various times in my life very fit, and I've been at various times in my life not very fit. I'll talk about that in a second, but it takes so much time and energy to really have great nutrition. And I've done it on my own. I've spreadsheeted out what I've eaten and gotten everything dialed in and stuff like that. Anybody could do this. It totally works. It's not that hard. It just takes quite a while. And so we built Clockwork to make it really, really, really simple to get perfect nutrition, right? So if you sign up, what we do is we give you a survey that's pretty detailed but fast for you to do, where we get your height, your weight, your age, all sorts of those details from you, and then we get your goals from you of, you want to lose weight, you want to gain weight, you want to stay neutral on weight, you just want the time savings, there's something you're looking for in terms of sleeping better, mental performance. So we learn what your goals are. And then we build a pretty close to ideal nutritional profile for you. Good quality food, macronutrients, perfect, micronutrients, solid, calories, perfect. And then delivery services will just deliver 100% of your meals. That's it. You won't have to eat anything other than what we send you at what we think is a pretty affordable price. If you live in a major American city, it might be less than you're paying for food right now. Not the cheapest way. You get oatmeal and, make your own food. You can go real cheap if you want, but if you're eating out at all, if you're on the go at all, we think it's really quite affordable and pretty cool. And we use a mix of algorithms to generate different meals. And there's all kinds of complexities around data entry and how we check whether their stats are accurate, how we get stats on places that don't publish it. And then, we generate some variety and test out what works for you. We have all kinds of algorithms in the back end, and humans will look at every single thing before we send it to you. So the algorithms won't build you some monstrous, awful thing. Like the meals are all pretty decent. So meals will just show up at your dedicated times. You'll tell us when you want those to be. And they will just show up via one of the mainstream delivery services. We're not a kitchen. We don't cook the food ourselves. We put in orders with one of the 6 major delivery companies in the US or local restaurants. We actually also source some places locally that aren't on these platforms or order directly from them. They just show up, you eat what we send you, and don't eat anything else, and you're good. You'll hit all of your nutritional goals and all of your performance goals, and it is great. It is really, really great, and it's something that I always wanted personally, and that's why we built it, and it's great. And there's all kinds of little details, but that's the basic idea, is you sign up for this, and you'll have delivery meals show up that are perfect nutrition for you, and you don't have to eat anything else. You just eat what we send you, and you'll have basically optimal nutrition for any body composition goals, mental and physical performance, and a huge time savings. We launched this on the 4th of July, 2020. We've had about half the people that signed up have stayed with us the entire time, and some of them say they're going to stay with us forever because it's so great, and that's it. That's all you got to do, and you'll hit all your goals. And it's great. So that's the gist of it. There's some particular points. I'll show you the software, and I'll talk about who it works great for and who it doesn't work for. But it kind of one of the inception points to this, and we're not going to show you a lot of before and after photos or whatever. I think that's a little tacky. This is a very analytical group that tends to be our customers. You're probably a very analytical objective person. We don't need photos of buff people and the beach and stuff. But to 80-20 this, here is me. This is me a few years ago with some of my friends back when I'm in the nonprofit and education world. We were at UC Irvine doing a talk. It was fun. You see me on the left. I think I'm a pretty attractive person in that photo. And then here's me 1 year into being the tech CEO of a fast growth company. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't really like that. Yeah, I like when I look like that more than when I look like that. I like how I felt when I look like that more than how I felt when I look like that. And like whatever, I totally get it, you know. So we got a lot of users that are CEOs, a lot of programmers, a lot of people that are just busy. And what happened to me was I was just a really busy guy doing a lot of stuff, and I just eat whatever. And my weight went from like a healthy weight up to like into the 240s pounds, which was not good. And I didn't like that. And it's just for me, it was too time consuming to sit down and cook healthy meals and whatever, or at least it wasn't a priority for me. So I would just grab a smoothie on the go, hit a convenience store, just eat whatever, just whatever was around, and my weight just kept creeping up because I had a pretty busy, pretty intense work life. So, with Clockwork, I'm a user of it. I'm a regular user. I signed up. I put my own credit card down, and I engaged with that from a different email than my work email. I just engaged the team. I'm like, hey, you don't back channel with me. Don't ask me over our chat channels. Internal to the company, only communicate with me the way you communicate with a customer. And I started using it. It's been great for me. I went from 226 pounds on July 4th to by the end of September, I was down at 211. So 15 pounds without any hassle. It was all very sustainable. It was all very good. And then since then, I've switched into more athletic training. Right now, I've been doing some strength and endurance training and yoga daily. So I switched to now I'm building up my weight. And that 226 to 211 is probably even a little better than it sounds because I probably put on a couple pounds of muscle at that same time. So I probably dropped maybe like 17 pounds of fat and probably gained 2 pounds of muscle um, by the end of just like 2.5 months on Clockwork without like any sacrifice and without any thinking about it. My meals just show up at the dedicated time. The team uses algorithms with a human touch to build all the meals. They just show up. I eat them. I don't need anything else, and that's great. And I wasn't even perfect. I slipped up a little bit here and there. I went to a party, whatever. A friend had a retirement party that I went to, and I had some burgers at it and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's no big deal. But I was, just followed the program, and really no hassle, no sacrifice, no deprivation. It totally worked for me, and I'm feeling great. So I want to show you some little behind the scenes of how it works. So when you sign up, we send you a survey, and it's kind of like, okay, do you eat when you get stressed out? How's your sleep schedule right now? De-risking factors. We ask you some other questions. How knowledgeable are you about the science? Do you care? Because we can share research papers and talk with you. We're all a pretty scientific group. Our CTO and the lead developer of Clockwork are both pretty serious people that have performed at a pretty serious level. Athletically, our CTO, Lee Knowlton, was the champion in the 1 mile in San Bernardino, California. He was a younger guy, so he was a pretty accomplished runner and at a pretty high level on that. And Luca is a championship level swimmer. He actually set some records, national records in his home country. He was basically like he probably could have been an Olympic athlete if he went into that, but he went and studied computer science instead of dedicating himself full time to the swimming. But yeah, these two are both very knowledgeable, both practically and theoretically on this stuff. We read a lot of research papers, so we'll share knowledge with you on that if we want. So if you want, so we ask you on the survey, hey, do you care about that? Do you want to know the stuff and the theory behind it? We do it all pretty scientifically, and then we'll have one of our team get on a call with you for an hour. There's all kinds of little personal details. Just make sure that we get everything double checked and you got anything weird in your schedule or whatever. And then the way that you update us and integrate with us. We got a mobile app coming up soon. Right now, this desktop software it does some other cool stuff, but I'm just going to show you Clockwork right now. All you have to enter in each day is this. Let me just show you what you do. So you get your meals. We send 2 large meals each day. There's a good reason behind why we do 2 instead of 3. It's explained on the web page, but they're large meals. Actually, if you're running a caloric deficit, it's probably more satisfying to eat 2 large meals than to eat 3 smaller meals. It also lets us make it more affordable for you because there's the delivery costs and the tipping and the logistics around that, and it lets us customize. Larger meals are easier to customize and get the macronutrients perfect on them. So 2 large meals a day, which works great for people. And here's what you do. So every single day, and if you skip some days, that's okay, but we have a better data set the more you do. You just put in your weight each day there. You can be metric or imperial. Then we ask, hey, how productive were you yesterday, right? And we're looking for if this goes into bad repeatedly, right? Then we say, hey, how hungry are you, right, lately? And we pay attention to that. And then we ask this one, do you feel like you're at risk of your nutrition breaking down, right? And our team sees that. And then you can write a description here. We actually can read these. So if you had like a bad day, right, or something, but you're like, oh, well, whatever, it had nothing to do with your nutrition, whatever, just something going on in your life, you can let us know. You take notes for yourself, whatever, but that's optional, right? And then you just let us know, did you love, was it okay, or did you hate the food that you got for your 2 meals? And we use that to tune what we send you going forwards. If you click the thumbs up there, you're good. If you click the thumbs down, it'll ask you, okay, hey, give us some feedback. Let us know what's going wrong, if something's going wrong. Now, what was really cool, and this was the really aha moment for me that we're on to something special here at Clockwork, was I was running this and I started on the most aggressive calorie deficit. Some of our theories and how much we think sustainably can be lost in terms of weight each week and the grounding on that, a lot of that's on the webpage, so you can dig into that if you want. Um, but Luca wrote to me. So I was targeting losing a little more than 2 pounds a week, I believe, was my target. And yeah, after a few weeks on Clockwork, I was like, oh, I was starting to get a little run down. So my hunger levels are starting to get extremely high, and I'm like, you know what? I've been like looking at food and thinking I want it. So I actually marked those, and I get this email. This was great. This is what people get if this happens. Hey, Sebastian, I noticed you've been having a hard time the last few days. You've been on a very aggressive deficit, so that's to be expected. What I recommend is to do 1 day of a zero deficit in order to stabilize, then continue with a less aggressive 0.75% or 0.5% weekly deficit. Does that sound good to you? And if there are any other adjustments you'd like to make, please let me know. So I said, yep, sounds good. Luca just put my calories at maintenance for 1 day, and we could go surplus or a variety of other things, and then reduce the deficit by 25%. And then I just kept on with my weight loss profile to drop weight, and it was just great. After I got down to 211, which was around my target, now I've been doing athletic training and I'm building up. And building up some strength and endurance. So it's just been marvelous. We have some advanced settings, and we're coming up with more of them. One thing that I think is really cool is like if you're going to be at your parents' house for the weekend, you can click GeoShift, and you can just put in different addresses. So we'll get your home address. If you have an office, we'll get your office address. But we built this just to make this useful for people. You're on a road trip. You're going to another city. You're going to if you're in Chicago and you're going to San Francisco on a business trip, we can send meals to your hotel. It's really cool. Yeah, on the road, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to visit your family, and your diet gets all screwed up, because you're going to visit your family for the holidays. Just let us know their address. We'll send your meals to you. Or if you want to pause the service, we made it so you can flip it on, flip it off. So you say, hey, I don't want it this week. Yeah, it's totally fine. But, if you're going to be like, staying over, at a friend's house or something like that, we could do that in GeoShift. You can batch or cancel meals. So like, hey, if you want to not worry about having delivery a specific time, you get all your weekend meals, whatever on Saturday morning or Friday nights. We could do stuff like that, change your delivery settings. And then we've been adding advanced settings, and we're going to have more of them. So you can add in your metrics there. And you can have a target, weight target, and we adjust based on that. We do some of the stuff with Google Fit. We're adding integrations. But then this is pretty cool. We have a bunch of stuff we could do like this. This is just a couple of them that are in the interface. Some of them we have to email or talk with you on the call. But there's a bunch of cool stuff we can do behind the scenes, right? So do you like to have a bigger lunch or a bigger dinner or balanced? Do you want to experiment and then just have us pay attention to what affects your productivity and extract that from those numbers, right? So you could do that. And then this is cool. Let's say you lift weights on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Guess what? We can get you your exact macronutrient targets for the whole week, right? But we can also give you more calories on your workout days, right? And this is what bodybuilders do. This is what a lot of people who train athletically do. And some of these things we're going to increasingly improve the technology. Because like we'll get on the phone and you say, what's a heavy workout? Are you a runner? Are you a weightlifter? Are you doing kettlebells? Are you doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu? What are you doing, right? But yeah, we can cycle the calories for you. So you get, if you're a weightlifter, we can send you more on Monday and then less on Tuesday and more on Wednesday. And like, again, this is what athletes do. We just calculate, we do it all for you. You don't have to think about it. Even if you're not doing any athletic training, and not everybody that's on Clockwork is, some people just are happy to stay at maintenance. They're doing it for the time savings because it's conservatively saves hours a week. It's great. But if you're, wanting to do this and trying to optimize, okay, do I add one extra piece of chicken today? Do I, go with extra mashed potatoes, or do I have a bigger spoon of rice? We just handle it for you. It's so cool. And as somebody that did this stuff by hand with spreadsheets and designed perfect meal plans and stuff, this is really good. It's something we always wanted. So yeah, magic of technology and great operations. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. We do all of that. And there's actually a lot more stuff that we do, and we're shipping more stuff all the time. Like we're with you. So before I sign off, I really encourage you, if you're interested in this, get on this, right? Some people might stay on it forever. Some people might be like, hey, I just want to like, bulk up or drop down on weight a little bit for, a month. Flip it on, flip it off. I want this to be utility, where, for some periods of your life, this can just mean you don't have to think about food at all and it'll be perfect. It's great, right? But I want to talk about who it's for and who it's not for, at least right now, all right? So almost all of our customers are really like very analytical and very objective. Um, and by that I mean like not everybody is a business owner or a programmer or an engineer, but like the majority are. If that's not you, that's totally cool if you relate with those people, right? If that's like, oh yeah, that's kind of type of person that I am, then this might work really well for you. Who this kind of doesn't work for, and I'm just gonna be real about this, and maybe in 6 months we'll be able to handle it really well. We lovingly call the people that a couple people that bought that weren't too happy, food snobs. Oh, on a day that it rains, I'd really like beef, and can I get some extra garlic sometimes? Look, if you never want pork, easy, yeah, we got you. Like no bread or more bread, you feel good on it, whatever. Yeah, we got you, right? Like, hey, I love Chinese food. Send me more. I don't like Chinese food. Don't send me Chinese food. Totally cool, right? These things are easy for us. We do that. But if you're like, well, I'd like to get a little bit savory tomorrow, and like, look, that's not what we do. Like, we're gonna get decent quality food that hits your macronutrient goals, your micronutrient goals, your calorie targets exactly, and we're gonna pay attention to your performance. That's what we do. If you're like very finicky of like, hey, I want garlic sometimes, and other times I want something savory, like, look, that we can't do that right now. Some people kind of want like, hey, I want to cheat sometimes and have a pastry this day and not that other day and whatever. We can accommodate that a little bit. We're building some stuff to accommodate that. But like this really works well when you're like, hey, like here's my goal. I want to lose this weight. I want to gain this weight, or I want to be at about the same weight. And then just let us know using the software if you're getting hungry, if your performance is declining, right? And we'll sort it out that way. So, it gives you freedom from having to think about food, having to worry about it. The delivery orders just show up. You just collect it, you eat it, you throw it out. Throw out the dishes at the end of it, right? It all comes in the packaging. It's amazing, right? It saves so much time. It's straightforward. We think it's really affordable. We run it about break even on it, actually. We really try to get the price down where it's affordable if you're middle class, and maybe a bargain if you're in a big city and you eat out otherwise, or we're eating out. And we can accommodate some little things, but if you're like, hey, I want the freedom to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and I want to make this work, it's like, well, I mean, come on, this is like, that's the whole point of this is you just don't have to think about food. But for somebody that has that as a goal, it's great. The three major use cases are if you want to change your body composition, either gain weight or lose weight, either bulk up or cut down. A lot of people doing that. But not everybody on it's doing that. Some people are on it for the mental performance and physical performance or the time savings. So we pay attention to your performance. Over time, we want to balance, making it so it doesn't take a lot of data entry on your part, but we can also learn and help you improve things. So we're like, building API integrations with sleep devices and things like that to optimize that. It's going to be a little while before we're really good at that. If you're very interested in that, we're super interested in the performance side of things. So as much as we are not a concierge service, like, oh, I want a little extra garlic, like, leave us alone. That's not what we do. We'll just get your nutrition perfect. But if you're a bit into science, you say, hey, I want to figure out what I perform best on, if how I have a meal in the evening affects me in the morning, that we can work with you on. We're very happy to work with you on. So if you're very interested in mental or physical performance, sleep, the quality of training, if you're doing training, or productivity, if you're doing, mentally taxing, difficult work, if you want extra on that, yeah, our team will be happy to riff with you. So we get really excited about that. And some people are just on it for the time savings, and it's conservatively hours a week. It is a lot of time savings, which is really lovely about it. So that's the crux of it. If you're a food snob, I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year from now, we can take care of you, and we'll have settings in there of like increased garlic levels or something. For now, yeah, we could totally, like, if you don't want dairy or bread or whatever, that's easy. That's easy. If you really like to have beef on the days that it rains because it reminds you of the time that you lived in Iowa, I mean, come on, that's not what we're doing right now. But maybe in a year we could take care of you. But if you're very analytical, very objective, You have either body composition goals or mental physical performance goals, or just want the time savings, it's a great service. This has been really for me as a user of it, not just as a company. It's really amazing. It's something I always wanted, and that's why we built it. So we've got some great customers on here already. We take great care of them. We've got some very smart technologists. All of us are very much on the research papers, very studied in these topics. So we're going to get it right for you. Um, and hey, if this is you, this whole like, man, I know that I perform better if I get my nutrition dialed in, but it just takes so dang long, so complex. Yeah, we just got you. You won't have to think about it. We will do all of the hard thinking for you. The food will just show up. You eat it and win at everything. It's a great thing. So if you think about Clockwork, would absolutely love to have you on board. Give it a shot. Some people are going to stay on it for their whole lives because it just removes food as this hassle thing you need to think about. Other people like flip it on for a month or two when they want to increase their weight and bulk up, or decrease it to cut down, or just it's a busy period and you want to not think about food right now, but other times you want to cook, so you can turn it on, turn it off. We're happy to do that. We've had a couple people do that. Sometimes they're traveling, sometimes they're not, and they prefer when they're traveling or when they're with their loved one or whatever, they're cooking or something. Yeah, so it could be a turn it on, turn it off, or it could be a get on it forever and never have to think about food ever again. You just shows up and you eat it. It's great. So that's the crux of it. I'd be delighted to have you on board. I'm Sebastian Marshall from Ultraworking, Lee Knowlton, our CTO, Luca Dover, our lead developer, Saad Zafar on the back end, a number of other people on the team. Yeah, if you get signed up, we'll hop on a call with you. We'll send you that survey, and then we'll hop on a call with you quickly just to double check all the assumptions and get any other key details and goals from you. And then we can get you rolling next week or at your earliest convenience on really perfect nutrition with no thinking about it at all. So we'd love to have you on Clockwork. Thank you for the interest in it, and look forward to helping you hit all those mental and physical goals and a ton of time savings on this front. Godspeed.